Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Millie, and on this channel I talk about yarn. I talk about knitting and crochet. I share my works in progress, my finished objects, yarn hauls, and I also have a few knitting tutorials. So if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. And if you're new here and this is your first time, welcome. Today, I have two finished objects to share with you and a very tiny yarn haul. And I'm gonna start by sharing the finished object. And if you have been here before, you can probably tell that my finished object is what I am wearing. And this is my Tecumseh pullover. And I'm gonna try to show it to you. I know it's not gonna fit on the screen, but I'm gonna do my best. And that's what it looks like. It's finally a finished object and I can enjoy wearing it before it warms up. It actually is cold this week, so I'm gonna get some use out of it. So I finished this last weekend and then I blocked it, and it dried over the weekend. Actually, I finished it last weekend, and then the whole of last week it was on a towel drying, and then over this weekend I discovered that it was dry, and so now I am so excited to wear it and also to show it to you. So I feel really good about my progress this year because I have finished two sweaters. I finished a cardigan last month in January, and I finished this pullover this month. And even though those were projects that I started last year, I still feel motivated because I know that I have projects in my whips that I started probably 4 years ago, and I'm on the sleeve island and I haven't been able to finish. So I feel so good about this one because I started it last year. It never became a whip, or it never became a pile, or it never went to the pile of those whips that I am not able to get to, or those whips that I kind of lost motivation. So I was able to work on this and finish it. And I am so, so proud of myself, and I'm so happy about it. So this is the Tecumseh pullover, and the design is by Caitlin Hunter. And this was published in 2018. And I loved it as soon as I saw it, and I bought the pattern, and it has been sitting in my queue for that long. So I am so happy. And initially I had intended to use another yarn, but I didn't end up using the yarn that I thought I was going to use. So I bought these. This is Berroco vintage that I bought from my local yarn store, and I am so happy with it. I hope it wears well because of the acrylic. So Berroco vintage is a worsted weight yarn, and this pattern is written for a DK weight, but the Berroco vintage needs like a DK to me. Like, that's how I feel. And since I wasn't following the size that was recommended for me, I was able to get away with it. So the yarn that I'm using, like I mentioned earlier, is Berroco vintage, and I used charcoal gray, which is this gray over here, and then a light pink, and then this is like an ivory color, but they are calling it white over here. And I'm going to leave all the information in the description below. So the Berroco vintage comes in a skein of 218 yards, and I forgot to count how much I used or how much of these I had, but I think I have notes about that, because when I was buying the yarn, I actually looked at the pattern, and the lady at the store helped me calculate how much I needed, and this is what I have left. So I know for sure I had two of these, and this is all that's left of it. I only had one of the pink and I didn't use up everything. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I think I'm gonna do like I want to do like a scrappy wool blanket, and I'm thinking that this will be, I'll add this to the other leftover wools that I have. And this is the only leftover gray that I have, but I don't remember how many I had, maybe 4 or 5. I'm going to look and see because I wasn't really keeping track, but this is the only yarn that I have left out of whatever I bought. So, and each of the skeins has 218 yards, and they feel really, really soft. And the yarn, the Berroco Vintage, has 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. So it has more acrylic than wool, but I was aiming for that because I didn't want to have a garment that was 100% wool. But also I like the price point of this yarn because at my local yarn store it retails for less than $10. So it's a budget friendly yarn, and there's a lot of colors, so there's a lot to choose from. So you have many options if you're working with this. And then for the knitting needles, I used a US 8, which is the recommended needle size for the yarn. But for the ribbing over here, I used a size 6, because I wanted it to be a little bit tighter. So I used a 6. And also, I don't remember, I think the only thing that I should have done one, like now I'm looking at it, I prefer my neckline to be a little bit lower. And I don't remember if there are any short rows on this sweater. I don't think there are. And I don't know for sure. But I feel like I should have done a bunch of short rows so that my neckline can come a little bit lower, because I didn't even have a place to put my microphone. I had to stick it somewhere on my sweater because the neck goes all the way up here. But the good thing with this is it's not itchy at all. So it feels great on the skin and it feels warm. So I'm just loving it a lot. And I am so happy with it. And I'm not going to say that I'm going to make another one, but it's one of those projects that I feel so good about. So I don't think there's anything else on this pattern apart from it wasn't hard. This color work is easy, it's not hard. I think it's like 17 rows of the color work, so it didn't take forever and it wasn't very hard, but I think I messed up somewhere, but I only noticed that afterwards. It could be in the back, but it's not going to be noticeable. But I noticed it when I was looking at the sweater, and I put a white somewhere that I wasn't supposed to, but it's barely noticeable. So this is the first finished object, which I am so pleased with. And then I have a bunch of washcloths because sometimes I will use washcloths as my in-between projects when I am like if I'm hanging out with my friends, or I'm visiting, or I'm just doing other things like I'm watching TV, or just between projects when I do not want to struggle. I don't want something to straining, something easy to work on. I make a lot of washcloths, but this month I've been craving like pink and reds and browns, like the Valentine colors. And so my goal was I was thinking I need to make a pink blanket, but then I was like, I already have another blanket that I'm working on. And so I was like, the easiest thing you can make is you can either make socks or you can make some pink washcloths to satisfy your pink craving. So your pink and chocolate and the red, because those are the Valentine colors. And I was like, I want to make something pink. And so I decided to work on a bunch of washcloths. And I know they're not all pink, but some of these were whips. Like this one was a whip, And so I decided I'm not gonna put it aside, I'm gonna finish it before I cast on a pink one. And so all my washcloths are made out of 100% cotton. And so these two, okay, so these two are made out of Hobby Lobby. I love this cotton, actually including this one. So all these are made out of 100% cotton, Hobby Lobby. I love this cotton. And they're not really the same size. I'm just trying out different sizes. And then for the first time, I decided to try a crochet washcloth. And this was a painful process. I don't know if I had the wrong crochet hook or if I used the wrong stitch, because this is a half double crochet stitch, and I wanted to try and see how it would look. And also I wanted to make more washcloths and make them faster. And I typically crochet faster than I knit. And so I thought, let me make a crochet washcloth because I'll finish it quickly. But for some reason, I didn't really enjoy, I don't know, maybe the stitch that I was using and the hook size did not rhyme. But when I looked at the label afterwards, it recommends a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, and that is what I was using for this. But I still didn't enjoy it. But so I'm thinking that it's the stitch that I used. So I'm not gonna use this stitch again for a washcloth. I'm probably gonna use a linen stitch or probably just a double crochet. But I finished it, and it's also made out of the same Hobby Lobby I Love This cotton. And all these yarns have been sitting in my stash for a while. And this one is repurposed from a sweater or vest that I had made a long time ago, and it felt too heavy. That was way back when I didn't know too much about yarn. And so I had used these, and the sweater, the vest had some cables, and I think that was weighing it down. So now what I'm doing is I frogged it, and I'm going to make a bunch of washcloths out of it. So all these three are made out of Hobby Lobby. I love this cotton. And then here is my pink craving right here. So these are made out of, I think these are made out of Crafter's Secret. I don't have the label, but I believe that's what they are made of. Crafter's Secret. Well, I don't think they are from Sugar and Cream. I think they are from Crafter's Secret, and I don't have the label, but that's also 100% cotton, and this was like leftover from another washcloth. I love these colors so much. And I think, I don't know why I stopped when it was so small, but I mean, it's beautiful. I love the colors. I love the pinks. And then I have this one. And I have a ton of this one because I have a lot of pink. I've discovered that I have a lot of pink in my stash. So, and then I'm working on another one. And this is the same yarn because I had a bunch of this yarn. And I think I remember why this is small. So I think I used US size 6 for this. And then I discovered that I didn't like that. And so I'm using 8. So this is US 8 and this is US 8. So that is what I am working on. And this one is, I'm going to finish this in the next few, maybe in the next hour, because I'm decreasing. And then I'm going to have a pile of washcloths. I'm thinking that I might add them to my Etsy shop, but I am not completely sure right now because I've put it on vacation. I'm enjoying not having to worry about fulfilling orders and shipping and all that. So I'm taking a little break. So, but I might go back and add them to my shop. And I have a pile of all my yarn, my cotton yarn here. Oh, here is the label. So this is the label. that this is the yarn that I'm using. This is that one, this pink. And I have a bunch of these, and I got them from Hobby Lobby when they were having a clearance, I believe 2 years ago. And I grabbed everything that had this pink label, and they were going for 74 cents, and you cannot beat that deal. So that is all the finished objects that I have. And I went to Joann's. If you're a knitter or you like crafts, there's been a lot of talk about Joann's going out of business. And I don't know how true that is, but someone said that they filed chapter 11 or whatever chapter it is sometime this year, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know that, but I know that everything, a lot of things are on sale. And so I went to Joann's, even though I'm trying not to buy yarn this year, but I was going to look for fisherman's wool because I use it to make dryer balls. And for some reason, over a period of time, my dryer balls keeps disappearing. And I thought that I had some of the fisherman's wool in my stash, but I cannot find it. And if I have it, I know I'm gonna find it when I do not need it. And so I went there and I was looking for fisherman's wool. And when I looked on the website, it said that they had 11. And I walked around and I couldn't find it. There's yarn everywhere. There's yarn in boxes. I didn't take a video of it, but there's a lot of yarn, actually. There's like, I don't know how many rows of yarn, and everything was like 25% off. And so I didn't find what I was looking for, but I found my favorite acrylic yarn, and that is Heartland by Lion Brand. So I decided to grab a few of these. Actually, I grabbed all the red. This color is called redwood. So I grabbed all the redwood they had on their shelf, and it's just gonna go in my stash. And they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they had 6, but I also I'm going to make a pullover for my grandson, and I've made him a lot of pullovers, but he has outgrown them, so I need to make him a new one. And he loves red like me, so I'm going to cake this and cast on a pullover for him. And I'm using this pattern. This is Flax by Tin Can Knit, and I've knitted baby pullovers a lot using this pattern, and it's easy to follow and it's free. It's a free pattern. It's supposed to be beginner friendly, and it's supposed to teach you to how to knit pullover. So if you're trying to learn how to knit, this is a good place to start. And so that is what I'm going to knit with this. So I'm just gonna cake it and make him another pullover because he has outgrown everything that I've made him. He's getting bigger. And then I bought one ball of Big Twist, and this is Joann's yarn Big Twist. So I bought this because of the sparkle, and I am working on a scrappy blanket, and I was thinking of adding a little bit of sparkle on these. Even though it's a scrappy blanket, I love sparkle, especially on the border, because it adds a little something to your project. And so this is what is this? This is just a gray, and it's also 100% acrylic, and there's 380 yards here. So I just got one of these, and this one has 251 yards. And if you haven't tried this yarn, give it a try. It is the most soft, basic acrylic yarn. Well, probably not basic, it might be premium, but it's really good. I like it. It has never disappointed me. And then I bought this. So I discovered this yarn last year, I had seen it at the store before, but I had never bothered to buy any of these. And so they had, like I said, Joann's, everything, all the yarn is on sale. At least it was when I went there on Sunday, and it had, it's 25% off. And so they had these Lion Bread powder of, is it called powder of love? That's the name of it. So I tried this yarn last year and I loved it so much, and I decided that I'm gonna be adding more of it to my stash because I really enjoyed working with it. And so I was actually looking for another color that's a little bit more green than this, but they didn't have a lot of selections in this yarn. So I got 2 of these, and this is, it's a 4-weight, and it's 100% premium acrylic, and this whole thing is 1,020 yards. So if you have 2 of these or 1.5, I believe you can make a nice size blanket. You could probably make a small blanket for a baby, like one of those tiny ones. You might be able to make one of those with this ball of yarn because it's so big. And if you're going to knit with it, you need US 8 knitting needles or 5 millimeters, and for the crochet hook you need 6 millimeters. So I got 2 of these, and then I got 2 of these as well, and this one is like, it's a cream color. I don't know what they call it, antique white. And I used this to knit a blanket last year, and I held it with a DK weight, and I made a very pretty blanket. And that is the first time I ever used it, and I liked it a lot. And so that's why I bought this. And I think you can never have enough neutral colors, because I intend to hold this one with this yarn here and crochet a blanket. And this, I've had this in my stash. I bought it a long time ago, and my goal is to crochet a blanket with it. And since I don't want to spend all day crocheting, I'm going to hold it with this one because this is a DK weight. This is the ice cream yarn. I've had it in my stash for a while. So my goal is to hold them together and make a kind of a neutral-ish blanket, if there's such a word, and that would be for a baby. But that's coming in the future. And then last year I had bought a ball of this, and this is, it's called Claret. Claret is the name of it, but I think I gifted it to my mom or something, because I don't have it anymore. I know I gave it to somebody. I think it's my mom. So when I saw they had like about 3 of these, I decided to grab one, and I will probably go back next month if they're still there and grab another one so that I can have enough to make a blanket. So that is what I bought, and I love it. I love this so much, and it's just going to sit in my stash for now. And that is the stash that I'm talking about using up, but I'm adding to it, which is not a very good way to use up your stash. So that is all I have for you today, and I hope that you're making good progress on whatever you're working on, whether you're knitting or crocheting, and I hope that you're having a wonderful time and you're enjoying the process. So until next time, happy knitting!